character isn't shown when everything goes right. It's shown when everything goes wrong. So if you get everything you wanted and you sold your business and you're sitting on 100 mil and you're happy as can be, good for you. What if that never happens? Have a mindset where you can still be happy and you can still find satisfaction in what you do and the path you've walked. Because for a lot of us, it's not going to work out.
Experience does gird you against a lot of the doubt. Not that you shouldn't doubt yourself, because you should always go into it where you're testing everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's the whole design thinking model. But from experience, if you've been there before, you know how better to proactively deal with it instead of what you were saying, which is reactive.
Yeah.
Hi, this is No Followers Podcast, if you couldn't tell by now. That's T. I'm Bob.
Hi. Wait, I started over. What were you doing?
Why do you keep talking over me? The crew's talking over me. You're talking over me.
Hi. Hi. No?
This is the worst opening ever. Do I have to say this again? We are going to talk about mindset today.
What's your mindset seems
hostile?
Yeah.
Hostile mindset by the environment I'm sitting in. No.
It's a hostile environment.
We got a lot of questions, and T's favorite topic is grit.
Gotta have it. You gotta have grit.
But this is about things that we all deal with, mindset-wise, that if you're going to lead a team, take your product to market. There's a few top ones. A few weeks ago, we talked about devil's advocate, which I believe in as a model. I've always used it. I love it. It's kind of what we what we do here every week. Yeah. Other mindsets that we've been asked to talk about, imposter syndrome, because people don't feel like they're worthy to take something forward.
I think there's more of the opposite these days. What's that, Dunning-Kruger? Familiar with Dunning-Kruger?
No.
It's the opposite of imposter syndrome. It's where
you think you're great.
You think you got it all figured out. You know a little bit about a little bit, and so you think that, you know.
So let's talk about that, because wouldn't you think that comes from people that don't know anything and have never tested anything? Because if you test something, you fail, and then you might get imposter syndrome.
Well,
but if you just talk.
That's the whole thing with Dunning-Kruger, is that it's usually.
Is that two names?
It's the people that I believe studied it.
Oh.
It's
Did they
people
go
who
to
are
your
unqualified. People that would never have gotten into my college. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Babson, never heard of it?
I never heard of it.
Don't worry, you wouldn't have gotten in. That's the old line. But yeah, I believe Dunning-Kruger.
That is not part of their marketing.
No. I am the nightmare of their marketing department.
They're like, stop talking about us.
I believe Dunning-Kruger is the opposite of imposter syndrome. Because imposter syndrome is you are qualified, but feel like you're not.
Yep. And you doubt.
Which is I believe, a normal reaction.
But that's who we're talking to, our normal audience. We don't do well with the fake audience.
These days, I meet a lot more people that are
but we don't
honestly
want them.
Dunning-Kruger adjacent.
But we don't want them. We want to talk to our people.
But
no, we don't want to. We want to talk to everybody?
I want to talk to everybody.
Okay. So
I don't want to talk to anybody, to be honest.
Go Dunning-Kruger this then.
Well, all I was going to say is like a good example of how we have seen this before with customers is someone made money in one industry and therefore they know how to make money in every industry. And I mean, maybe, but in my experience, no. You know what I mean? Like if you made $1 billion in tech, that doesn't mean you know how to develop a hard good, you know?
Well, there's so many more parts to it.
Well, it's just a different knowledge base. Mm-hmm. And the people and it all comes back to emotional intelligence, right? Do you have emotional intelligence? How much of it? Can you take an honest inventory of yourself? A lot of people can't. A lot of people can. Now we're getting into like self-growth.
Yeah, you sound like a life coach.
Yeah, I need one.
You might want to do that. You could life coach yourself.
You
can hire T as your life coach.
Tell myself to do something different.
So when I was talking about imposter syndrome, it's when it gets in the way of people.
Yeah.
Because it's analysis paralysis. It's literally how we use it or how I use it to drive myself to make sure that I am right or to disprove myself faster. Like, I don't have to know it. I got to prove to myself to know it. So I don't have imposter syndrome. And, you know, we have a lot of conversations, very free flowing. We just had an hour one here about a whole different direction we're taking with this concept. And it wasn't like any of us came completely prepared. It's from all of our experience, throwing it on the table and saying, okay, I might not be right, but here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, we got to the right answer, the next step answer.
Well, I do think a lot of imposter syndrome comes from, at least for me, I can talk for me personally, your peers. You know what I mean? So like you're asked to speak at an event, or you're set up with a group of people that are your peers, and maybe they're people that you looked up to for your whole career, and now you're on the same stage as them, or you're in the same exhibit as them, or whatever it is. And so I think that a natural response is like, oh, I don't belong here. Like, what am I doing
So you
here?
wouldn't go?
No, I do go, but...
No, I'm saying if like people, that would stop people from going.
Well, it could, but, well, I mean, or it would cause, I mean, let's be honest. If you're in a situation where it's kind of high pressure, high risk, high reward like that, not going may not be an option, but it would cause anxiety. It would cause all these things. But I think that that's a natural emotional, it's a self-awareness thing. You know what I mean? To go, you know, I've always looked up to this
Elon
motorcycle
Musk.
builder. Elon Musk, man.
Like, now we got to beep it out.
Beep it out. You know, with this motorcycle, and now I'm making parts for him, and he's calling to ask for my opinion. And I'm sitting there going, why is he calling me? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to go like, yeah, I am good at what I do. And I think that a lot of times people go the opposite way, where they're like, I just graduated, I have a degree, I'm the best there is. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, that's Dunning-Kruger. And I would always rather be in the imposter syndrome camp.
So I feel good
safer.
about our audience who DMs me, because a lot of them have asked about how we pick topics, how we feel so confident talking about topics, because they say, you say one thing, but I can find 10,000 the exact opposite on social media. And that's usually where people go to research, which...
That's not research, but... That's
I agree, and that's one of my answers. Watch the research episode. It is not complete research. But we are all affected by social media. And we know inherently that most of it's fake. But people still take it for gospel.
Yeah.
Like, even though you know everything they're saying is completely wrong, it sits in the back of your head, and you're like, well, they're telling me this, and then Bob and T said this, and they have a lot of noise. It's a lot of noise.
I believe the Stoics say, Bob, we suffer more in imagination than in reality.
Marcus Aurelius?
It might have been Epictetus. I'm not sure. One of those fellas.
They're dead.
Yeah, they sure are.
Maybe we'll bring them back.
Memento Mori. We're all dead, man. You know?
That's too deep.
Now we're going down the Stoic rabbit hole.
I'm not dead. Yet.
Every day that... How old are you?
I don't know.
Keep it to yourself. Don't say it out loud. None of us are giving
27.
None of us are giving out ages right
27.
now. That's how dead you are. That many days. Those days are done. Don't get sad, Bob. It's okay.
The best years are behind me?
Not necessarily. No.
I think you just told me that.
The whole point is make this day the best day. Those ones are gone. Those days belong to death. What you have is now,
That
this
is a
day.
very depressing philosophy.
That's,
Don't you have nice memories that you bring forward?
yeah, you can have a nice memory, but why you don't want to live in the past. And in the same way, you don't want to live in an imagined trouble, right? You
Or a
don't.
delusional future,
That's
because you
where-
know everything
That's where
with
I
your
spend most of-
Dunning-Kruger.
That's where I spend most of my time. You say Dunning-Kruger like I made it up.
I never heard it.
That doesn't mean much.
I'm going to write this down.
It's a very commonly discussed psychological phenomenon.
Okay.
But
I do think death, when you die, you live in your dreams of your memories from the past. So I'm just creating really good memories for when I'm out.
we want to have this conversation. I mean, I'll have it.
We'll leave it there for now.
I mean, you want to talk about what happens when we die? I mean, I'll have that
I
conversation.
just told you what happens when we die.
That's it? You got it? You got it figured out?
I got it. I've come back a few times. All right, other mindsets.
Yeah, what mindset should you have?
What other mindset should you have?
I mean,
I like the one that every day is on the job training.
Yeah.
Because that makes you aware that you don't have the answers and that you're looking for answers and observing. And
I mean, I'll tell you what, one of the biggest lessons I've learned, because I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I don't know any lessons about death. I just know that it's guaranteed.
But you've been dead for so many years already.
I am. The days that have passed belong to death. The days that's in front of me, that is what I have.
All
I
right.
have right now, in this moment. I'm
I
burning
don't
it
know
up.
how many.
Burning it up with you.
I don't know how many we have ahead.
Why? What does it matter? What if you have one?
That would suck. I wouldn't be here.
Why would it suck?
I wouldn't be.
What if you, that's the whole point, is if there's something that you feel you need to do, that if you
was a
had
joke.
one day,
Get a sense of humor, dead
you know,
boy.
what are you going to do? Not me, Bob.
I'm not going to make the squeaky noises because he's getting.
I'm at peace. I'm at peace with it all. I was going to say one thing that I have learned in my however many limited years in business is that everyone I know that's been in business for a long time,
Dead years.
all their dead years, their dead names, the people that I see frequently are frequently unshakable. It is, you know, whether you want to say don't sweat the small stuff, whatever it is. And again, this is a Stoicism thing. But you don't have to be offended by everything. And not everything is the end of the world. And not everything is the end of the project and you're going to lose your business and everything. And even if that is the case, what does that mean after that? Does that mean that, you know, you're screwed in this? I remember I saw someone get served process before, you know, and he took it, he put it in the drawer, and he was like, all right, I'll put it with the other ones. It was a construction, you know, a contractor. And he was like, yeah, we get sued. That's why we have insurance. And, you know, everyone on the job gets sued and it gets sorted out. And his mindset was like, if I get all bent out of shape over everything that goes wrong in my day, I'm just going to give myself an ulcer and a heart attack. You're not making anyone else's day worse. You're just making your day worse. And so that mindset of, and again, this is a Stoicism thing, but two things. Happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy at any time. And the second thing is character isn't shown when everything goes right. It's shown when everything goes wrong. So if you get everything you wanted and you sold your business and you're sitting on 100 mil and you're happy as can be, good for you. What if that never happens? Have a mindset where you can still be happy and you can still find satisfaction in what you do and the path you've walked. Because for a lot of us, it's not going to work out. And you got to still have the mindset of, why am I doing this? What am I doing it for? How do I find satisfaction in what I do? Go ahead.
No, but part of our mission was to show the experience, because experience does gird you against a lot of the doubt. Not that you shouldn't doubt yourself, because you should always go into it where you're testing everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's the whole design thinking model. But from experience, if you've been there before, you know how better to proactively deal with it instead of what you were saying, which is reactive.
Yeah.
So I completely agree that the power of experience, and even if it's failed experience, the other mindset thing, which I don't get from people, is they don't think they're ever going to make a mistake. We are human. We fail at everything more than we ever succeed. So why do you think you're going to go into something like product design, product development, product manufacturing, or business and not make mistakes?
Yeah.
And were you in the meeting where I met that guy and he said, I've never failed. I've started 10 companies. I'm batting 1,000. You weren't there?
No.
I don't know who was there, but my response, I won't say here, but
Yeah.
I was like, that's a social media
Yeah. That's bullshit.
tagline. That's
Yeah.
right. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And even if you got to the success line along the way, you made a ton of mistakes.
Well, that's just it. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are going to be so many things that even if you go like, all right, everything's great, whatever it is, or I got to make this, I got the job and I have to make a run of parts and I get to bill out 15 grand. Okay, I got the thing, I got this, I got that. The first one messed up, right? Oh shit. All right, well, let's, reprogram, let's do this, let's put in a piece of stock and let's try. If every time something goes wrong, you're making it the end of the world, the only person whose day you're ruining is your own. And you don't have to.
And maybe the people are right around you.
Well, for sure, the people around you. But, it's only hurting yourself. So the mindset of, and it's easy to go like, I know things are going to go wrong and I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. That's easy to say. To make that choice in that moment of this went wrong, like even I'll give you
It's practice though.
Well,
making that choice is practice.
It's taken me, I still relapse as I say, but it's taken me a concerted effort over the last 3 to 4 years to change the way I view these things. Because the only it was killing me and those around me. And I had to make that change. And that's a personal decision and a personal journey.
Right, so we're told to wrap it up. So what we're trying to say is you get to dictate your mindset. You have to be more realistic than what you're sold the bag of crap in the universe.
Yep.
And you have to put the right people around you. I mean, part of this and what we're trying to do going forward with the changes to everything we're making is to put the right clients around us. Excuse me, I'm tearing up now because
don't get sad, Bob.
I have so many years of death behind me.
No, you shouldn't be sad about those years. Those are done.
I don't remember.
You don't worry about it. Well, that's even better. Don't worry about them.
No, I do remember every moment.
Not me. I forget most things.
All right, where are we going how are we closing this one out? Follow, check out.
Follow us. Don't follow us. Do what feels right for you. But you can find us.
Happy.
Yeah, definitely be happy. Make the choice to be happy. Make the choice to follow, like, subscribe. No Followers Podcast, First Strike Commercialization, T from Fabro, Bob from In Focus Brands. And we'll see you next time.
Maybe.